Welcome, everyone. I wanted to ask you a question. You know that golden rule, do unto others as you had done unto you? We all know that about daily life, but are you aware there's a different set of golden rules when it comes to communication by leaders, to leaders, and in your marketing? And today I have two experts ready to share these golden rules, the new improved version of the golden rules, or the golden rules as they apply to communication. I'm Laura Rubenstein. I'm a digital media marketing strategist and host and producer of this show. I am so excited to have with us today two experts. Let's go say hi to them. First, let's talk to Janet. Hi, Janet.
Well, hi, Laura. Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Janet J. Sawyer. I'm an author, a leadership coach, and a speaker. My website is jjsawyerconsulting.com, and I have written a book, and it was published by WSA, which is called Mirroring Your Vision. I
Wonderful.
also live in Carlsbad, California.
Yay. Thank you for being here. And hi, Alexis.
Hi, Laura. Thank you so much for having me here. I am a digital marketing specialist based in Los Angeles. And I also wrote a chapter in the Voices book, and it's called It's Never Too Early to Pursue Your Business Hacks for Studentpreneurs.
Great. And where can people find you online?
Oh, you can find me online at simply-branded.com.
Beautiful. It's so great to have both of you here, from the leadership side and also from the marketing side, because we want to talk about the golden rule of communication. And both of you are authors in the forthcoming Voices of the 21st Century, Powerful, Passionate Women Who Make a Difference. And I'm super excited to read your chapters in that. And everyone, that'll be coming out in May. But let's talk about these golden rules of communication. What are they? And how do they differ from the golden rule? Janet, why don't you share first?
Well, when you think about the new rule, you have to know first if you're results, group, relationship, or detail oriented. And once you understand which one you are primarily, it will change the way you speak to people. It will change the way you lead them because my work is about leadership. And so you need to know which one are you. Are you results? Are you group? Are you relationship or detailed? And then you will change the way you speak depending on who you're talking to. So the golden rule is you must treat people the way they like to be treated, not the way you like to be treated.
That's a mind twist, isn't it now?
Yes.
And I think, Alexis, you could probably add to that because, it makes sense though. Treat people like they want to be treated, right? So, how does that apply to marketing? And what would you say the golden rule of communication is in marketing, Alexis?
Yeah, so definitely to build off of what Janet was saying, in marketing, it really is treating people how they want to be treated. Because while the golden rule makes sense in terms of day to day life and being a good person, in terms of marketing, it's all about communication, and everybody communicates differently. So in my world, the way that I think about it is that it's never a one size fits all solution. And what I mean by that is people communicate differently, they hear things differently, they perceive things differently, and they're on different channels. So before you start diving into posting Facebook ads, posting social media, writing email blasts, you have to understand who you're trying to talk to, where they are online, and how they currently communicate. So this message needs to be tailored differently for each type of audience. So the first step in communication is to find out who you're talking to and how they communicate.
And that's very similar to what Dr. Janet said with find out if they're detail oriented or they're results oriented or they're relationship oriented. So if you find that information out, then you can build your marketing around them and your market. Who are they? This is so rich, right? You ladies do so much good work with people around the area of communication, and it's a part of our everyday life. We need to master it. And I know you both are masters in your areas of consulting and coaching. So I'd like to learn a little bit more about you and what you do. So Janet, maybe you can tell us about who do you work with and what do you do?
Well, I've been doing leadership coaching for many, many years, but the target market that I'm after now are those young leaders, the new upcoming leaders. And so my work works with 13-year-olds and up. so that we can get them at a younger age and teach them these leadership skills and these communication skills so they are effectively communicating with the people that they lead.
Beautiful.
So I work with the aspiring students and the adult leaders.
Great. And do you have a story about someone you helped?
I do. I do. I was working with a young lady that was 32 years old, and she took her leadership profile because first you have to become self aware. How do you naturally lead in the first place? Before you can actually start to learn to adapt and shift your communication style depending on who you are working with. So she took the profile, and I was able to debrief her profile. And what was happening is she had been working in a job for 10 years and she was unhappy. But once she understood exactly how she works in the world as far as communicating, she realized she's in the wrong position. So I asked her if she was happy about or felt safe about talking to her boss, and she felt safe. She went, she shared her profile with her boss. 2 days later, he changed her job description, moved her into what she is more has ability to communicate better and effectively. She was able to she was able to work with the client face to face. She was able to take them on tours. She was able to increase the business bottom line. And within 8 months, she received a $20,000 raise.
Woohoo!
The important part here is you need to know who you are. You must become self aware so you can intentionally and mindfully lead yourself and others. And that's exactly what she learned to do with this work.
It's powerful to realize that the whole shift in your life can happen just by becoming aware and having communications with people who can help you change your situation to something that's even more fulfilling.
Yes.
Great work. Thank you so much for that. All right. So Alexis, tell us about you. Who do you work with and what do you do?
Well, before I dive into me, I just wanted to say, Janet, that's an amazing story, and the fact that you're able to impact women and help them grow and reach their potential is amazing. So I don't quite work with people in the same capacity. I mainly work with businesses and sometimes individuals, but it's more around digital strategy, marketing initiatives, things like that. So I work with small businesses and individuals to develop an online strategy to help them reach their goals, whether that means launching a website, redesigning their brand, getting new leads, increasing revenue, whatever the client's goals are, we develop the strategy around it and then we execute. So what that looks like, for example, let's say I'm working with a local medical practice who wants to get more patients. I may assess their current website and digital presence and develop a proposal and strategy. And it could look like redoing a website, launching a social campaign, having the doctor film some really personable videos that we can share, and maybe some local SEO. So I take all the components of digital marketing, from websites to design to paid social, and I form them to develop the best strategy for each business.
That's fabulous work. And how did you get to this work? Do you have a story around that?
Yeah, so I launched my first tech startup during college, and we were cash strapped, bootstrapping everything, didn't have the budget to hire an outside marketing agency. So I just started to develop the skills myself in order to get us where we needed to go. So I built our website, I designed our logo, I was designing all of the marketing and branding material that we take to trade shows. And other people in the community and people at trade shows started to approach us and ask, "Who did your marketing?" And I was like, I did. So people in the community and people that saw our work asked me for help with their marketing. And then it kind of organically grew into its own business because I started helping people in the community. And then I started helping other people. And then I got more referrals. And then I decided that I love this work and I am helping people and I'm going to start my own business.
Well, congratulations on all your personal success and then how you were able to now help other people communicate using the golden rules. And these golden rules work. This is why we have the show, okay? Remember, you have to think like a marketer. You have to think like someone who cares about other people to really effectively communicate. So congratulations. Thank you for your wisdom here today. And I know being a part of Women Speakers Association offers a lot of value to you in your communication as well. So please share with us what value you've gotten from Women Speakers Association by being a premier member. Janet, why don't you share?
Well, I like the weekly meetings that you can join. And I found two great coaches off of the WSA. On one of they did a webinar, and you joined the webinar. And I have two great coaches. I mean, Charmaine Hammond was one of them. Book as a business. Now that I have a book out, I need to market it in a way so that I can get the word out about the importance of understanding yourself so you can be intentional and mindful. And then I had Dr. Sonia, Speak and Grow Rich. Speak and Grow Rich. And so just to learn from her as far as how to create a business around speaking. So the two of them are like bookends. You know, they really support each other with what I need to learn and how I need to grow. So I really do appreciate that. And then, of course, WSA published my book. And so working with that publishing team was amazing. And everybody was so on point. And so that's what I've gained out of it. And I've been a member for 2 years, but I haven't been able to take advantage of all the things that are offered. And there's so much. So I plan this year to start to take more advantage of the other trainings that you all provide.
We really do have a lot of resources, trainings, and people to network with and find mentors and collaborators with. And so, congratulations on taking advantage of what you have.
Yes.
A lot of people think, oh gosh, I have so much that, well, we have so much to offer, and they don't feel like they're maximizing their membership. But the truth is, you're maximizing your membership, you're using what's relevant to you and what works for you. And of course, we have the speaker's profile or the speaker's profile on our site that you can, that event leaders and event managers are always accessing 24/7. So, Alexis, what is the value you are gaining from Women Speakers Association?
I think the value that I'm gaining kind of overlaps with Janet's. There truly are so many great resources, and if you have time, or if you can just play the webinars or the trainings, even while you're working, that's what I started to do, and just at least you're listening and getting the content. That was really helpful. But I would say the biggest opportunity that I've had so far was the Voices book and being a part of that experience, and the special training that we got for that. Learning how to market your book, how to prep for a book launch, getting international best-selling author in 4 categories was incredible, and definitely something that that I'm proud of and will be proud of for the rest of my life. So I definitely thank Women's Speakers Association for that opportunity and the strategy behind that book launch. And it was a really, really fun experience.
Woohoo! Yes, absolutely. You are both of you are international best-selling authors. I'm also in the Voices book, so we all are. And that's one of the brilliant things that we do here at Women Speakers Association. We, not too long ago, like 2 years ago, started this. And so Voices of the 21st Century is really dedicated, is our collaborative annual book that we put together for women leaders, because guess what? Women are the voices of the 21st century, and we're passionate about helping you expand your message. And let's do this together in collaboration. So if you're interested in becoming a member or joining our community, finding out about the resources, go to joinwsa.com and join Alexis and Janet and myself and the other fabulous women. Thank you so much for the hearts and the love. I see them coming up. And we will be back with you next week with another edition of our Women Speakers Association's WSA TV Women's Premiere Show. And we'll be featuring March's speaker success trainer. And that was Janet, like what you were talking about, who you were talking about, how you learned about your mentors here today. So we have another one coming up, and we will see you then. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for having me.